ultimate goal and the ultimate aim of this life is for everyone to be successful and live a happy life. Over the 8 billion people on earth, everyone is chasing out to be a successful person. That is why in our daily lives, we move out to go out there and work to make sure that we are having the best of life that we enjoy. But as we move on in this journey, it becomes so challenging for many people. And that is why in my last episode in the book called No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline, I try to bring you the 21 ways in which we can achieve lasting happiness and success together. So no excuses, the power of self-discipline. We are still on that mission trying to unravel how we can be successful together as human beings living on earth. So if you want to be successful, if you are still missing some key points in the journey of success, stay with me in this video whilst I bring you the next episode of this book, which talks about self-discipline and character. Now in this second chapter, the author talks about self-discipline and character, how we can be able to develop a character that will help us to become successful in this journey of life. So the author states that building a character is the most important thing that you need as an individual in your business and in your social life. One of the favorite quotes from this chapter was by Ralph Waldo Emerson, which he states that what you do speaks so loudly of you that he cannot even hear what you say. It means that whatever we are doing as individuals talks a lot about us, especially the kind of virtues that we develop as an individual. The author states that some of the great values or virtues that we can have as individuals can be courage, can be temperance, can be persistence, friendliness, among others. But coming before all these values, which determine the depth and the strength of our character, is integrity. Now, the author defines integrity as living in complete truth with yourself. So, how you are truthful to yourself and the people around determine the depth and the strength of your character, which the author defines as integrity. Integrity is the value that goes a long way to guarantee all these other great virtues of life. The more you are honest with yourself, the more you are honest with others, is the more you are able to live consistently with some of these values that you admire and respect. But in all of these, you need a power of self-discipline to stay right and to do right things in every situation. Another important element I've learned in this book is that all of life is test, and therefore it's actually to see what we are made up of deep down inside. So wisdom can be developed through study and reflection, but character can only be developed through our daily encounters in a giving and taking in this daily life. And therefore, when we are forced to make choices and decisions in our daily lives, that is what determines the character and what actually we are made up of as human beings. In all of this, how are we able to develop the character we want? So for instance, Aristotle wrote that all of the advancement in society begins with the development of the character of the young. So therefore, it is very important that as youth coming up, we need to also have that tenacity to develop the character that we want. And all these come through instructions, through studies, and through practice. That is the key ways in order to develop that character that suits the life you want to live. So let's look at some of the things that the author states in order to develop the character that you and I we want as we move on or we journey through this future. So the writer talks about a very important element, which he says that we should be able to teach our children values, and therefore that is one of the major rules of parenting. You have to give instructions to children for them to adhere to. But in all of this, you also have to explain to them the importance of that value and the importance of living with that value. So therefore, they are able to comprehend, understand what you want to impact to them. So children are able to learn from people, from the elderly, they are able to learn from their parents. So the kind of character that you exude or you show to your children are what they are going to pick up. So for instance, they do that by the instructions we give to them and by studying us and by practicing. The second point the author states in developing your character is that it says study the values you admire. So it states that you should be able to study them closely, the kind of values you want. And like the law of concentration says that whatever you dwell upon grows and increases in your life. So the author states that the core virtue of character is truth. So whenever you are able to tell the truth, no matter how inconvenient it is at that particular point in time, you feel better and you earn the respect of people around you. The third point that the author states in the development of character is the fact that we must be able to emulate the people we admire. So for instance, it says that much of our character is determined by the people we admire, both living and dead. So who are they? Looking in your life history, who are the people you so admire? You can even make a list and attach to them the kind of values these people represent to you. And in doing so, you are able to learn some of these values that these people have because you admire them so much or you like them so much. So the last key point the author talks about in relation to the development of character is that we should be able to practice the values we respect. So for instance, any value that you've learned as an individual or you incorporated into your character as an individual, you should be able to consistently and continuously practice them. So the more you practice them is when at any point in time you are called upon, you are able to show that character, and then people will be able to know that this kind of value or this kind of person has this kind of character or values that he or she talks about. So we develop the values by repetition, by constantly or continuously showing them in situations, and that is what builds our character as individuals. In the development of character, the writer also talks about the fact that we should continue to also to do the right thing as individuals, and therefore we should continuously think about the long-term consequences of our actions. So the more we are able to think about the long-term consequences of our actions, it is when we are able to do the right thing at the right time, even at the shortest possible time. So therefore it goes on to say that when you are given the opportunity to make choices, or when you are given the opportunity to make decisions, you must ask yourself, what is important here? These are some of the things that will guide you in making the right choices and the right decisions at the right time, which is an example or it exudes the kind of character that you have as an individual. Now he advises us that we should practice the universal maxim of Immanuel Kant, which states that we should resolve to behave as though our every act were to become a universal law for all people around. So this is the journey of building ourselves, of building our character for the successful and the happiness that we want to enjoy in this world. Thank you for staying with me through this journey. Thank you for watching this episode, and thank you for subscribing to the channel King Obed, and continue to like it, continue to comment, and let's continue to build a successful journey together and to make sure that we are getting the best out of everything that we engage in. Bye bye.